Good morning everybody, welcome to Mortal Gaming. This is me again, Marvin, and we're now here for another video for Ragnarok M Classic. And it is a couple of minutes away from the opening of the servers in OBT. So just in case you're still not yet decided on what path or what job will you be taking on OBT in a couple of minutes, this video might be the best one to help you. Okay, so first of all, I will be grouping different types of players in terms of their spending capacity, and I will be asking you some questions later that will surely help you decide on which path to follow. First of all, if you are an F2P player, so that means you're very hardworking, you just want to enjoy the game, or you're just chill and want to play with your friends, and you don't want to put that much or any money at all in the game. The best job for you are these jobs. The first one is a priest. So a priest, in terms of the role, you can be an all-around support. So priests are very much useful in this game. They are wanted by many, and you will never lose a weeklies or miss a weeklies or dailies because you are always needed in every party. So the thing that you need to see here is that you have to master your support skills. So just in case you are not a support player or it's not your type on picking a support player, then number 2 is the best one for you. It is a ranger. Okay, being a ranger is the easiest DPS to build on as an F2P, particularly on early game. So number 3, another one is a shadow chaser. Being a shadow chaser is kind of all around already here. You are really good on dealing single target damage. The change on the grind system has really buffed the triangle shot, so it means that you're already very good at that part. You're ranged, and at the same time you have a Zenny farming capacities on your skill set. And apart from that, you have a lot of versatility in the end game. That's why it's really good as an F2P to become a shadow chaser, even though you're not gonna spend anything, right? So number 4, a sorcerer. A sorcerer as a utility, a DPS support, an all-around. Okay, just like the priest and an archbishop, a sorcerer will be in a way needed in most of the cases or most of the dungeons out there. So if you want to be that DPS that is fun to use and at the same time has a lot of roles for PvE, both in PvE and PvP, then sorcerer is the best path for you. Last but not the least, the mechanic. So mechanic is not F2P friendly, but as a DPS support and as utility, you are still gonna be needed by many. And at the same time, even if you are an F2P player, you can still farm a ton of Zenny because of the passives. The downside here, a little bit of downside on mechanic, you need to have an alt hunter at the very beginning until you become a third job as a mechanic to help you grind and to help you hasten your daily kills. Okay, now if you are a low to mid spender, I would definitely suggest number 1, going for sorcerer. So sorcerer, adding a little bit of funds to it or investment to it can prove higher damage, and it will be a big jump in my opinion on the late game. So having a sorcerer as a support DPS, not just a DPS support or a support to your DPS, party DPS, but an additional DPS is really gonna be awesome on party runs, dungeons, and all of the PvE and PvP contents. So Sorcerer for me is the number one choice for low to mid spenders. Number 2, Genetic. Genetic is kind of overpowered on late game. So, starting as a Genetic can be very good because you're gonna start your progress very early on. It's really good on early stages also because of any farming passive skills that a merchant has. Genetic is really OP once you are accustomed to using it on PvP, and on late game, if you have built enough physical attack and magical attack on your character, you can be very diversified in terms of builds. Now, number 3, a Royal Guard. Of course, even though the Royal Guard will need a couple of investments from you or resources so that you could progress faster, the Royal Guard as a tank alone will be getting you there, because even if you are a low to mid spender, building a Royal Guard is gonna be fun for you. In grind, it has shield boomerang, it ignores physical defense with Ivory Lance, and it has a ton of capability in withstanding huge damage both on PvE and PvP, so people will love you for it. Now, number 4, a Rune Knight. Rune Knight, in terms of low to mid spenders, you need patience. You will be waiting for the Rune Knight 3rd job at level 100. You badly need to have an alt character, particularly a priest and a hunter. Okay? Then last, a mechanic. This time, the same as with the Sorcerer, you will be a support DPS or a secondary DPS on your party. Apart from that, once you become a mechanic, everything will be smoothly flowing, so it will be very fun for you as a low and mid spender. Now, if you are a high spender, I would suggest for you to take number 1, Rune Knight. So it's gonna be fun as a Rune Knight. If only you can imagine, if you are a high spender and you're a Rune Knight, definitely you will be dominating PvP maps and you'll be able to carry a ton of players on runs, on dungeons, on PvE contents. Number 2, a Sorcerer is unstoppable on small-scale PvP, particularly those high spenders that will be a Sorcerer. So if you want to, excel on 6 versus 6 or on 3 versus 3, then a Sorcerer DPS is the way to go. Genetic is very good in contrast with Sorcerer, which is gonna be, excelling more on 6 versus 6 and 3 versus 3 as the main DPS or the primary DPS. The Genetic can be the one in large-scale PvP or GVG. So in that way, you could utilize a lot of your potential on your builds, on your homunculus, or even simply on your Hell Plant and Crazy Weed, so that you could disable enemies. So number 4 is Shura. Yes, Shura. I could also, suggest Shura for high spenders. The reason for this is that if you use a Shura as a low spender or F2P, you'd probably get killed most of the time on PvP contents. But if you have huge investment on your character, it can be tanky. And a tanky Shura is really great on PvP. That means you can withstand a ton of hits from the enemy, and at the same time kill a lot of enemies on the other guild. So that's really good. And at the same time, on small scale PvP scenarios, the Shura is kind of irritating and annoying to deal with if you're battling a spender. Number 5, a Royal Guard. Same with the Shura, it's kind of annoying and fearful to battle Royal Guard on small-scale PvP, on 1v1, 6v6, and 3v3. So those types of PvP, the Royal Guard as a DPS can excel by a lot if you are a spender. Now, in terms of early game, if you're wondering which should we choose, because we can freely choose or freely change our class, because here in this game, you only need Zenny in order for you to change class, and you can, interchange class from time to time, anytime you want, using the Emir's book. So if you're gonna be focusing only on which will carry you, which job class will carry you on early game, I would be suggesting number 1, a ranger. A ranger is really good on everything in early game, except from, not having Zenny farming skills, but it's okay. So if you are only looking for convenience, the ranger is for you on early game. Same with the ranger, a shadow chaser is also very good and advisable to be on, early game job class. And last but not the least, the Archbishop, since I think there will be less population on supports here, and most of the people want to be a DPS, and because of the mercenaries, less support or less Archbishop will be popping up in early game. So that's your chance to become prevalent on a lot of teams, helping your guild, helping your party members in succeeding your runs or dungeons. And at the same time, you will always have a party. Now, for the masochists out there, if you want to hurt yourself or challenge yourself, number 1, I would suggest a Guillotine Cross. The Guillotine Cross, until the early to mid game, is very hard. It has been proven, and there's been a ton of nerfs that ever since the Ragnarok Eternal Love. So I think they also are using the same Guillotine Cross in the ROMC. So I think it's gonna be difficult in using Guillotine Cross, but on late game, everything will be rewarded. So you just have to, challenge yourself. Performers are for the challenge and for the masochists out there, not because it is weak, but because it's kind of confusing on what to build on a performer, and at the same time, it's boring. In my opinion, it's kind of boring. You don't know if you're gonna be good on, on support or on DPS or on buffing, so you just don't know. And number 3 is Warlock, okay? I've already experienced this. I'm one of those masochists in the CBT, and I would definitely say that if you want to, spend a ton of, money, then the Warlock is for you. It's kind of rewarding though if you built it the right way. Now, if you're still not conclusive in your decision, Lapakgaming, of course, they have discounts for all of the games that you want to play. It's here. All of the things that you want to buy is already here at a discounted rate. Up to 10% discount when you top up Cabal Infinite Combo on Lapakgaming. Oh my goodness, this is just so great. What are you waiting for? Top up on Lapakgaming and get up to 10% discount. On which path to take, you can also answer this 3 questions. The first one is, what is the job that is needed by your friends in the guild or in your fixed party or any party that you know? If you're gonna be always there looking for party, what job class would best fit or missing or is missing on that guild? So you may ask yourself, and then you may also gauge it if you would want that job class. Number 2, what job do you really want? Just throw away all of this job tier lists, those job pros and cons, the balances, the nerfs. Throw away all of those. What job do you think you will really have a fun time playing with, whether it is challenging or not? And the last one is, what is the job that you usually choose on the previous Ragnarok IPs? It may be all all Rune Knight, it may be just like me, all wizards, or what are the job or which job are you most comfortable with when you're using it? So you may ask this question to yourselves, and just remember that in my opinion, the job classes here in Ragnarok M Classic are the most balanced classes I've ever seen on release, on the day of release. That's why that's maybe one of the reasons why a lot of people are still confused on which class to take, or to which path to take. But then again, there are no wrong answers here. Fun, enjoyment, and relaxing. So what job will be fun for you, bring you enjoyment, and won't stress you out? Just remember those, okay? So that's it. Thank you everybody for watching. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. If you happen to like this video, please do leave a like, share this to your friends, and click that bell notification button to get notified every time I upload a new video, start a new stream, or a new content. That's it. See you again on the next video. Bye-bye!
Now I found you.